Welcome back to the morning show here on Arise News. Nigerians were again confronted with President Muhammadu Buhari's unbending opposition to restructuring, despite the agitation for better governance and fairness in the distribution of resources. According to President Buhari, those clamoring for restructuring and threatening secession were making noise to get better deals. Well, joining us from Owerri to discuss the president's unyielding opposition to restructuring and how Nigerians can remedy this by choosing a successor in 2023 that's more in tune with the yearnings of the people is Professor George Obiozor, President General of the Igbo Socio-Cultural Group, Ohanaeze Igbo, and former Nigerian ambassador to the United States of America and other countries. Good morning, Prof, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Prof, Happy New Year. It's good to have you on the program.
Happy New Year, Ruben.
Well, Prof, very quickly, President Buhari has granted two major interviews in the last 48 hours, and he raised a number of issues in those interviews. One, his opposition to the restructuring of Nigeria. He thinks that those clamoring for it are noisemakers. And people have said, well, restructuring, after all, was a campaign issue for the APC, the party that brought him to power. Two, he says state police, the idea of state policing is not an option. Now, let's start with those two issues. The third issue that may interest you is his point about Nnamdi Kanu, that Nnamdi Kanu should have his day in court.
Actually, the reality of the reality and imperative of restructuring was substantiated by what you, Ruben, witnessed in the 2014 National Conference. What was important about restructuring is that the Nigerians needed a federation that resembled the one bequeathed by their founding fathers. And that yearning was almost unanimously accepted at the 2014 National Conference, as you know. However, indeed, restructuring is not a threat to national unity in any form. It is a very dynamic thing in a dynamic institution like a nation state, where as you grow, new things develop and you adjust. In fact, every country that is wise and progressive takes restructuring into account as they grow. The issue about restructure is, like in the case of Nigeria, it is to build a more perfect federation, a more perfect union, where conflict will be less and cooperation will be more. The honest situation that arose, which I feel was unfortunate, is that all matters in Nigeria result in what the late Claude Ake called and felt very badly about, that every issue in Nigeria is politicized like the country, but undergoverned. If we had taken good time to look at restructuring, we should have actually taken more from the 2014 National Conference to lessen the conflicts that exist in this country, whether it is in our physical federalism or even political divisions or boundaries as a federation. Particularly, in the idea about revenue sharing. It is absolutely a problem that federations solve very easily by concept of taxation, deductions, and all that. And of course, taxations and taxations through the federal government and state government and local government, where they have 3 tiers, like in Nigeria. Restructuring is, in fact, a national blessing, not a national tragedy.
Hello, Prof.
I hope. Yes.
Okay, there was that other issue about state policing and Nnamdi Kanu.
The Nnamdi Kanu issue, the president said is in court, and you cannot fault that one. If he says he cannot interfere in the judiciary, we have a division of labor. We have the system at the federal level where judiciary is as independent as others. So he is definitely right in thinking that the judicial process, which is already on, is there. But we are, as Igbos, asking for something different from the judiciary government. Some of us are asking for him to consider Nnamdi Kanu with some prerogative of mercy, which is his own prerogative as a president. You know what I mean? And also the idea of treating him well with mercy and the son, whom and as a son and a citizen, just considerate thing, considerate issue, considerate compassion, from the president. Not, we're not talking about the judiciary. In fact, by taking the judiciary route, then he is taking both the right route logically, but then away from what we are appealing. We're appealing for the prerogative of mercy, some form of amnesty, for the young man.
No, please go ahead.
Okay. Prof, Dr. Abati also asked you your take on President Buhari's emphatic rejection of the idea of state police. And while we're at it, what is the status of the regional police or security outfit, Ebube Agu?
Well, indeed, those things have been granted permission a long time ago. It is existing already in some parts of Igbo land, but they have not been launched. The one of the Southwest is there. They are cooperating. They are all working under, working in cooperation with other security agencies. Indeed, it is helpful for at that level of policing for assisting the federal government and the other security agencies to penetrate the societies better and talk to the average Nigerian. I was just thinking of this thing. The need for state police or formations like Bubago or Aboteku is imperative in a federation like ours. The truth of the matter. Imagine sending young from Birnin Kebbi to Hozara in Abia or Hofia in Abia, very far away, and then asking him to be commissioner of police for that state. And then he becomes almost chief security officer. in terms of crime detection and punishment and other things. Then he may be a 40-year-old man. He hasn't been there in his entire life. How does he operate effectively in such an environment? First, how will he overcome the shock? If we are imitating countries, we have to look carefully how those countries succeeded and not how they failed. The reality of policing in Nigeria today is that the Nigerian police is, even in international average, is so small to police our country. And then needed the augmenting in different levels. You need not call it state police. You can call it state guards. You can call it anything, but train them to detect crime and reduce crime. Societies, as they get more sophisticated, crimes increase. And nobody will tell me that Nigeria is not growing or developing. It's growing and developing, no matter how slow we can see it, you know. So what I'm trying to suggest is that state police has been an argument because it has become politicized. Again, I repeat, like everything in Nigeria, once you politicize them, you lose them. The essence of it is lost in the cacophony of political debate and the opposition. Otherwise, what is wrong with the state police other than politicizing it and the danger that it will go out of hand and become a challenge rather than a solution to national problems? In fact, I have come to a conclusion, and I made it clear before. No amount of all these side militancy, revolutionaries, and that is a threat to the Nigerian unity, because none of them is capable of defeating Nigeria, whatever name you call it. If Nigeria can stand the Boko Haram, then what else is another greater threat than what we saw in the northeast and overcame it? So the other crises we are facing today will take the same course, they will pass. They will be contained. Nigeria is like an Iroko. The tree stands firm and strong. What is shaking are the leaves and the branches. They are not a threat to the Iroko tree. So Nigeria is strong enough, in spite of all the weaknesses, strong enough to sustain and survive and defeat all these problems of crisis and conflict which we face today. So that the fear should be reduced to allow development, such as creating security agencies and architecture at a state and local level. If you go to Britain, what do you do? In fact, as a student, when I went to Switzerland to go to school, it is the local police that will handle the immigration problem. And of course, know when your visa will expire. So at that level, so you need the local people to police their areas more effectively to the best of their interest. And then, of course, as a federation, we will have to have levels of policing. It's important and it's imperative. If it doesn't come now, it may come in the future. That is exactly where I stand on that matter. It is important to have levels of policing because that is how to be effective in controlling crime in our society as we are today. But if it doesn't happen now, it will happen in future. But it's an idea whose time has come in Nigeria.
Okay, Prof. Great insight you've shared. I just want to get some things right, Prof. Is it that you are saying that President Muhammadu Buhari and the government of Nigeria should remove, the case that we currently have in court with Nnamdi Kanu? Because his lawyers too are arguing that they stand a good chance, and that's based on the interview. And secondly, what will be the reaction? I mean, what will be the conversation since you're speaking with the president and some other Igbo groups with Ipob? Ipob is still saying things. Ipob is still saying things, for instance, that they will not allow a national anthem of Nigeria to go on in assemblies in schools in the southeast and things like that. So I just want to get that correctly. Is it that, okay, mercy, the case should be struck out, or, let the law take its course and the likes?
Let me tell, first, I didn't say the president should stop the legal process. I said the president is observing correctly the division of labor there in our government functionally. The truth of the matter is that when you are making an appeal for somebody in the situation Nnamdi Kanu is, you are not going legalism, you are even going political, asking Mr. President to apply his power of prerogative of mercy and do something about the young man. That is exactly what we're asking. We're expecting the president to have a second thought and a consideration about the young man. The president granted amnesty to some people before. Isn't that true? Mr. President has a large heart. He's the father of the nation. Indeed, he can. His action is final. It all depends upon him. So take it from me. The president has the power to grant him amnesty, to say what you read in the Bible, my son, go sin no more. You have had it before in the Bible. Like he had done to other places, in other places, and to some of our young men across the country. There's nothing else that we are appealing for.
Well, Prof, on that note, we'll take a short break, and then after that break, we'll come back to you, and the conversation will continue. Please stay with us, Professor George Obiozor, President General of Ohanaeze Ndigbo. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the morning show here on the Arise News channel. Our guest is still Professor George Obiozor, President General of the Igbos Socio-Cultural Group, Ohanaeze Ndigbo, former Director General of the Nigerian Institute of International Affairs, former Nigerian Ambassador to Cyprus and also to the United States of America. Prof, thank you for staying with us. Well, Prof, I was going to bring up this issue about Ipob, Indigenous Peoples of Biafra, the organization. Now, Ipob has said the Nigerian national anthem should no longer feature in any school in the entire Southeast. Ipob has also said that goods coming from the north, particularly cattle, should not show up in the Southeast. Now, what is the position of Ohanaeze Ndigbo on this, particularly in the light of the fact that the coalition of northern groups have also said they must not see any Igbo goods or services in any part of northern Nigeria, and that no northerner should support any politician from the Southeast or any political party that features Southeast interests. What is Ohaneze Ndigbo saying to all of this?
Take it from me. Take it from me, and it is the right statement. Ipob doesn't speak for Igbos. And to be very candid with you, the Ipob's anger is an accumulated anger based on perceived or real injustice against Igbo for so long. We understand their anger and the anger of many youths across the country. However, the truth of the matter is that they're not mandated to speak for Igbo. And the northern group that are making the statement is unfortunate because we don't respond when their youths in a youthful exuberance make certain comments like they did before, that all Igbos must leave the north. In fact, the idea that some responsible people in the north, like the organization you mentioned, can take the position they have, means it is predetermined. So for me and for Ndigbo, the statement had been made a long time ago that Ndigbo are not at war with Nigeria, Ndigbo are not separatists, Ndigbo are not secessionists, Ndigbo are Nigerian nation builders. Wherever you are across this country, look out, you see the Igbo man struggling with the rest of fellow Nigerians to build a nation. So this is what counts. What Igbos are talking about is not about cattle, eating beef or not eating beef, who visits us or who does not visit us. Well, we have more serious things to discuss. This is another point that we should be clearly state to the public to know that in all sincerity, Igbos do not speak like Ipob. Ipob is an organization of young men whose leader is facing some major problem, and if they speak, it is erroneous to think that they speak for Igbo. I hope you get the point.
Yes, sir.
There are people who think and believe that because occasionally, like when they began to sit tight, sit down, and other pronouncements, prohibiting movement and other things, that if people obey it, it is because they're all Ipob. No. Wow. There is a case of fear factor.
If I could come in here,
listen.
Because we're running out of time. I have to ask you, according to recent reports, your group, Ohaneze Ndigbo, has said that from January 21st, you'll be visiting other zones in the country with a view to lobbying for a president of Igbo extraction. and getting all the political parties to field an Igbo president or presidential candidate. I'd like your comment on that. And can you give us some insights into the plans? What zones are you going to visit first? Who is in this delegation? And you must have potential candidates in mind. Who might those be?
Wonderful. If I do that, then what is left for us to go to show those who are going to?
You can start here, sir. You can start the groundwork.
No, don't start television. All I want to let you know is that a president from Igbo land, southeast, is an idea whose time has come. It is politically justifiable and morally defensible. It is indeed illogical, timely, and in all sincerity, justice, equity, and fairness have finally come home to Nigeria to crown the Nigerian political history by the idea of Igbo presidency. What is important for us is that promise Nigerians, if they give us that opportunity, that we bring a leader who is a patriot, Nigerian patriot, who is knowledgeable with humility and with wisdom, actually keep the country together, who indeed will work hard for the progress, peace, and unity of the country. Let me tell you this. The Igbo man is unique in sharing. In Nigeria, one of the greatest problems is power sharing. This power sharing that is the greatest cause of conflict and crisis in Nigeria. The Igbo president will resolve it for you because it is the Igbo man who can share things and is prepared to take last. Let other people take because he knows he shared it equitably and correctly to everybody's satisfaction. That is what the kind of president you will get. A man with conscience, humble, knowledgeable, patriotic, and a true nationalist of Nigeria. The truth of the matter, once again, is that it is indeed an idea whose time has come.
Okay, Professor George Obiozor, real quickly, I'd like to ask you, Ipob, like you said, frontally doesn't speak for the Igbos. Then who speaks for the Igbos?
I do now.
Okay. Thank you so much.
I'm elected and I do speak for Igbos.
Okay.
5 governors were there. Everybody was there.
Okay. So, thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Professor George Obiozor, for joining us this morning on The Morning Show.